Like you said, he's got 3 rings, right? And just to clarify, none of those rings are with Toronto, right?
Is Fraser Minton going to have more points than Slavkovsky this year? Fraser Minton sucks at hockey. This guy might not even be an NHLer, so we got to settle down on that one.
Adelaide, no. Minus 160 on will they show her holding a drink in her hand.
They are 2 points behind the St. Louis Blues in the wild card, and they are.
Oh, the Blues are dog water. The Blues suck. The Blues are the worst of those 4 teams that I mentioned by a mile.
And
they're not a good hockey team.
Care, like have some set of balls, have some response, have some pride for what the hell goes on the ice. It's so absurd.
I'm looking forward to the parade, but that's going to be later in the year.
See, I'd rather have so money in that than have Alber Soderblom. I would rather stack a bunch of garbage that I have in the corner of my room over here than have Alber Soderblom in that. He's
March 8th, welcome back to Edgework, powered by Stacks. It's NHL Deadline Day. We're joined by So Many Sports and Alex B. Smith here on this Friday morning to close out the week and to catapult us into what will likely be the most boring next for five hours to close out this day, to close out trade deadline day. After every single NHL GM just said, no, fuck it. We're just going to make these trades before we even get to Friday. So should be a fun one nonetheless. We'll break down the games for tonight as there are 4 on the NHL schedule. We'll give out our best bets. We'll answer some questions in the chat. And then, of course, for those of you who are watching right now, or if you're watching back, if you're looking for some live deadline day coverage and you want to see people just bored out of their minds on camera while we wait for nothing that's happening and nothing to happen, you can find us at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time right here on the Edgework HQ YouTube channel. So we'll be back here for plenty of content throughout the day. But before we can get into it, before we can get into today's bets, today's games, I want to remind people we got a brand new sponsor this week. We started it off on Monday. New sponsor, new intro, new graphics on the screen, and that's thanks to our friends over at Stacks. If you haven't already, please sign up for Stacks. Betting exchange. If you're sick of getting limited and profiled, Stacks is a unique sports betting exchange that offers higher limits and better pricing. Stacks offers a fair and real-time marketplace for users to bet on the outcome of sporting events, offering better odds in a peer-to-peer marketplace. Stacks is the best option for anyone who wants to wager on live sports. Make sure to add Stacks to your list of outs and sign up today. You can get commission-free trading when you sign up now. The option is yours at Stacks. So make sure to check that out. If you want to join the Discord and see what people are saying, get involved in conversation, post bets, see where everyone is at, you can find that over at the link to the Discord in the description of this video, whether it's on YouTube here or on podcast form, however you want to consume your content, but you can find the link in there. Gentlemen, before we even get into yesterday's bets, Alex B., how are you feeling ahead of deadline day today? You're on a bunch of shows here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about, I'll be on ice on my show, the Ice Guys, during the last hour before the trade deadline goes through, and definitely interesting. Like I said, we get all hyped up, anticipated. We see all these different players, and we know all these UFAs, and we know all these guys who are going to be moving and bouncing around, and then all of a sudden, like you said, either you have a crush of moves that happen during the week, like we had now, and then you get to the deadline day, and all of a sudden it's a bunch of nothing, or it's a lot of small moves, or a lot of things come in after the deadline has actually ended, and things that have been worked out that are already submitted to the office of the NHL have to be finalized and formalized. So of course there will be other things that come in, maybe 30 minutes or even up to an hour after the actual deadline hits. But it's always an interesting day, and it's just kind of fun to see where teams are shaping up, which teams you realize, hey, they're selling, which teams are buying, and it makes it hard to bet on games this actual day because you have so many moving parts, so many lines, and we talk about lineup changes and goalie changes and different things like that. Well, obviously you have some of the most rapid changes that can happen in a day, and you see the lines reflect that.
Sadly, breaking news there or something that we got going on? Is that what just happened?
This is my email. Sorry. Turn my phone down.
That's all good. It's all good. So, Money, how are you feeling ahead of this deadline day? The Vancouver Canucks, they've been kind of involved in not just a lot of talks, but chaotic talks. We had Gensel rumors. We had could Lindholm be on the move here out of Vancouver after you just acquired him? We've heard the Canucks poking around all these different teams, and when you're looking at Rutherford and Alvin there, it's kind of being some gunslinging action that they've done over the past couple of seasons. Are you expecting much to happen here on the final day?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we've learned about Rutherford and Alvin especially Rutherford over the years, is that the guy's always on his phone, right? Like he's
Right.
We hear stories all the time about like just everybody he's talking to all day, and just it's great. One thing I know for sure is that maybe we won't get Gensel, right? I don't know
Yeah, it might be tough now.
oh, hold up. Did he get traded right
He did overnight.
overnight?
Overnight.
Yeah, see, I missed that.
Wait, did you actually miss that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't get up in the middle of the night, I would miss this too, to be honest. So yeah, it's totally fine.
So it's great, right? We're on live, and I'm just catching up on breaking news here. Right, awesome. Well, yeah. So
I thought you were joking at first. I
was dead
oh
serious.
yeah, somebody's making a joke. Gensel might be hard.
Yeah,
it's gonna be very hard. Yes.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, Toffoli hasn't been traded, right?
No.
No. Okay, good. Yeah. So I mean, like, Toffoli would have been the next option, right? Like once the Canucks don't get Gensel, which apparently, I still haven't read it, so like apparently that's happened, right? So Toffoli would have been the next option, and then we got Buchnevich, right? And then you go down the list with Zucker and Jordan Greenway. So at some point, the Canucks are going to address the need to get another top six winger that can score, and probably a depth defenseman, right? Like so we know that's going to happen. So I feel good about where the Canucks are. I feel good about where Rutherford and Alvin are, and I feel good that finally we are in a position where I can feel confident that what we see that is deficient with the Canucks will be addressed.
I'll try to find you. Okay, I've got some proof here, so money, so that you at least believe us a little bit. Pierre LeBrun had tweeted out the details of that trade, so
Carolina
there you go. Yeah, there you go. Carolina finally decided to pay up with the belief that they might be able to sign him to an extension at the end of the season. That was kind of where they were going.
Hold up. So that's at 11:20 p.m. That's Eastern time?
Yes.
So that's 8:20.
Where were you?
What happened last night?
I don't know.
I think I feel like it was like 11 or midnight Central when this was actually finalized, because those are just the terms of the trade revolving the two conditional draft picks. There's 4 players that are involved. Michael Bunting being the main piece going back from Carolina.
But regardless, that's still 10 o'clock for me, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm concerned. Like, what happened last night?
11:30 p.m. Eastern time. What happened, so money?
I don't know, man. I gotta like where. What happened to me here?
I don't know. But yep, there you go. So Gensel not only will he be very hard to acquire, but almost impossible, some would say, given what just occurred last night there. But yep, Kyle Dubas gets his guy, gets Michael Bunting back. As for our bets for yesterday and what happened with us on the show, we go 2-2-1, moving our record to 281, 283, and 11 on the season. That's 576 bets. We have a 4.8% ROI so far on this season, and we are up 28 units. So it's just kind of been up and down last 2 weeks for us here. Obviously, as we get closer and closer to the deadline, people are dealing with injuries in and out. Teams are adjusting how they're playing, their structure, their style, adapting to some of these new players that they're bringing in. We're going to go through our own ups and downs here on the show. It was only natural, especially considering how incredible of a start to the season that we had. But hopefully we'll continue to get it back on track here as we go through the deadline and into the playoffs. And still up 28 units. I mean, like, that's nothing to scoff at here. But if you want to see that, you can find that all over in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. Let's continue on here, gentlemen, with the games for today. And for those of you in the chat right now, if you haven't already, hit the like button on the stream here today. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. 4 games ahead of us. Let's start with the Colorado Avalanche hosting the Minnesota Wild here tonight. Colorado minus 211. Best price available at our friends Stacks. You can find on Minnesota plus 189 there. And then you've got a total of 6.5 right now for this game across the board. Alex B, you're in Minnesota there. What are the thoughts about this Wild team? As by the way, just the trade, just seeing this right now, the Carolina Hurricanes are acquiring forward Evgeny Kuznetsov from the Washington Capitals as well. So just save it for the fucking show at 1:30. Like, why can't we wait till that? Alex, what are your thoughts on this Minnesota team, what they've done so far here ahead of the deadline, and how they kind of match up against this Avs team tonight?
Yeah, well, I gotta say first, I'm sure Kuznetsov is probably happy to get out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and to be going to Raleigh because he got sent down like 48 hours ago. So, while there's still some fans that believe they can still do it, that they can still climb past all these teams that are much better than them and get into the wild card race. And then there's most of them who are just getting ready for twin season. So that's kind of the vibe in the area. As far as this game goes, it just seems like Colorado should be able to kind of name their score. Second night of a back-to-back. A team that they've played well against, won 8 of the last 11 meetings, and catching on the second night of a back-to-back. Philip Gustafson has just been off. Like it's kind of looking like maybe last season was a bit of an aberration. He played kind of out of his range, and we've seen a bit of regression with him at times. And of course, the defense in front of him hasn't gotten much better either. And we should be, like I said, cautious with some of these games today because we could be seeing some more moving parts. Minnesota is one of those teams that we saw them make a move, sending Brandon Duhaime to Colorado, interestingly enough. So it'll be interesting to see if Duhaime is in the lineup for the Avalanche. Avalanche have 5 different players that they got to have to try and rotate in. Kind of wonder where the lineups are going to be, how things are going to gel and situate. It takes time. So Colorado is one of those teams I'm really kind of cautious about, especially laying any kind of a big number, obviously, because they got so many changes in parts. I want to see where things kind of settle down with them. And Minnesota is just a team that, even though they got the gritty win against Arizona yesterday, I don't like backing them in this spot. So this game's going to be a pass for me.
All right, fair enough. So money. We got Alex passing on this game. Do you have any interest here?
I don't know. Have I missed anything with this game here?
I don't know. You're gonna tell me you're excited to see Ryan Johansson, how he performs on the power play tonight. Then we're fucked. If that's gonna be the start.
Or it's good to have Joe Sakic back in the lineup. Yeah, I mean, like this is an overlook right now for both of these teams. The problem is that we're already at the 6.5, right? So like we're already at a flat 6.5. So if you're looking at the over, how much more should you think that it should go? And at this point, I think it is where it should be. I do agree with Alex that Colorado, the way that they're playing right now, and the way that Minnesota is playing, yes, they've won the last couple of games, but it's San Jose and Arizona, right? Like you look further back in their games against Nashville and Carolina, Winnipeg even, right? So when they're showing, at least lately, for the most part, that when they're stepping up in class, they are struggling. So I do agree with Alex. Colorado should be able to name their score. The over, I think, will have goals here, but 6.5, a flat 6.5, it's tough to get behind. So for those reasons, I will be sitting this one out. And it's probably best that I sit out all the games, in fact, right? Because the hair game hasn't been strong today. Missing lineup news. So yeah, it's probably best that I sit out the night, I think.
I'm getting progressively more excited for the remaining games because I feel like we're just going to continue to find out stuff so money like hasn't discovered yet. Well, like out in BC, they're getting stuff delivered by like pigeon mail right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we like joke about it, but like it's actually really concerning what happened last night. So this is something that I'm gonna have to figure out.
And look, to be fair, I didn't know about that at 10:30 last night either. It was like 1 a.m. when I found out about this trade. So that's why I said overnight. When I saw that timestamp, I'm just as shocked as you are.
Yeah, it's unreal. And the thing is that like I am up overnight and stuff. I'm I'm up. So like I have no idea what happened here.
Well, it'll be okay. So money. We'll get through it. We'll figure it out. It's fine. A 1 day blip. It's all good. This happens again. Different story. Yeah. Have you heard this yet? Did you know that the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg?
Gonna be the Jets too. That's amazing.
Here we go.
All right. All right, let's continue. Move on here. The Arizona Coyotes. You know, Arizona has a team, right? So money. They're
now,
they're
for
hosting the
now.
Detroit Red Wings. For now.
Are they still in Tempe?
The Coyotes. No, actually, they've got 5,000 people in the stands, and not because that's how many tickets they can sell, because that's the max capacity. So, the Coyotes hosting the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Arizona plus 122. Yet again, another spot you can find the best price on both sides at Stacks, and Detroit minus 131 there. Total again, 6.5 all the way across the board. Barring any last minute news you haven't figured out here, so money, do you have a play in this game, side or total?
Not really, and I say not really because the Wings number got away from me. And Inside's posting there, he got minus 120 last night. Great price. I would play that if it was available right now, but it did get away from me. I do like the Wings here. They have regressed a little bit. We did expect that though, right? But also look at who they played. An Islanders team that's starting to play well, Florida and Colorado, right? And now after those games, you're playing Arizona, right? Which at this point is a significant step down, right? So just reading the comment there, but yeah, I did like Detroit. I like the spot for them. The number did get away. Arizona, we're seeing they for a while now, probably until since middle of January, their play has dipped significantly. I think the total is fair. You could make a case for the over here, but again, we're already at 6.5. So if you feel that there's an edge on the total, you have to ask yourself that if it's already 6.5, where should this line be, right? And I can't make a case for anything above the flat 6.5 that it is right now. So again, for those reasons, another game that I'll be passing.
And Alex, I know that you were looking at this game last night, and then this price has moved here as well. Any interest at all with any other markets or any other ways to get involved for you?
Yeah, I'm right there with Insight. I grabbed this thing last night at $1.20, right as the Yotes game ended, actually, and it was kind of predicated on the fact that we had already saw no Dumba, no Jason Zucker in the lineup because of trade-related reasons. They were scratches. Alex Kerfoot's name's been thrown around in deals. I think Bustad was also a healthy scratch as well. So that just tells you there's going to be some changes in this lineup. And this is, you mentioned those four guys for Arizona. That's pretty much like four of their top six players. All those guys are gone, whether they're out of the lineup tonight again or they just get moved. You're talking about a team now that what Detroit probably should be in the 200 range, minus 200 range is a favorite without all those guys in the lineup. So the moving part factor made it where I wanted to jump on that number now. Everybody followed suit. Now $1.35 is a tad bit unplayable in my book. I don't mind the look in regulation at plus $1.10. I just don't think, because I also, this is predicated on just, I don't think Arizona's that good of a team. Even if all these guys are back, say Zucker and Dumba don't get moved, they go back in the lineup though. What's the feeling for those two guys? They're thinking, man, I'm going to get shipped out to a contender, and then it didn't happen. Now here I am stuck in this 5,000 seat arena for another several weeks. So Detroit's a better team. I guess it's a good price. If you couldn't get $1.20 yesterday, grab plus $1.10 in regulation. So that'd be my play for the show. Detroit in regulation plus $1.10.
All right, Detroit in regulation, and we'll check that out there. You can find that plus 122. We can actually grab a best price. Right. Yes, sorry, there. Best price available in the BetStamp app. So we will grab that. And Alex B, is this a half unit or full unit play here?
This would be a half unit play. I would advise everybody that even if you're a full unit, 2-unit player, this is a day to have some low limits because, like I said, you can have a lot of different changes with the lineup between now and puck drop, especially with all three games. I think there's a reason they did that. The NHL, all three games are late night games tonight. 9 Eastern or later. So.
All right, there you go. We'll add this one onto our card for today, and we will recap all the bets that we give out on the show at the very, very end here. But couple games down, couple more to go here that we'll continue to move through. Next up, let's take a look over at the Anaheim-Dallas game for tonight. The Anaheim Ducks hosting the Dallas Stars. Anaheim, after they've freshly changed their uniforms, no longer the Mighty Ducks, just the Ducks there, so money. Plus 270, the Dallas Stars minus 300. And we're seeing a lot of 6.5s, couple sixes out there, but mostly 6.5s across the board. Alex, what are your thoughts on this game, where the pricing's currently at?
Well, I mean, obviously it's an inflated number. You got a bad Anaheim team, Dallas team near the top of the division. I'm not going to say good because their form is off right now. Back-to-back overtimes against the San Jose Sharks. 3 of their last 4 games have actually gone past regulation. And interestingly enough, against Anaheim, 2 of their last 3 games have gone past regulation. This is a team that plays down to some inferior opponents, and they're doing it at a very bad time, in my opinion. And with that being said, I'm seeing a draw price plus 400 at Caesars, plus 389 at Pinnacle. I think that's worthy of grabbing. So I'll be doing a half unit on the regulation draw at Caesars plus 400.
All right, plus 400, half unit. We'll lock in there. So money, any other ways for you to attack this game?
Yeah. So I go through the last few games for Anaheim. Their scores have been 2-1, 2-1. The Canucks game and the Ottawa game as well. But they were giving up bunch of chances there, right? So it's not as if they're starting to turn it around defensively. They're still the same team, but their scores have just been held down. So that's a situation where I want to look at the over. Dallas, they're still generating. Obviously, we're seeing their and that's being reflected for the most part in their goal output as well. One thing I want to see with Dallas, and Alex mentioned this, I think it was on the earlier this week, the show that he was on earlier this week, is that Dallas is starting to kind of leak a little bit defensively, right? And like we saw that against the Sharks, but I think that Sharks game was the culmination of kind of what has been happening with this Dallas team for a while. They are leaky defensively. I don't know if that gets corrected in a game in Anaheim where for the most part Anaheim will be fine skating with them as well. So it is a 6.5. We can still get a plus money 6.5, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
yep.
So that's the way that I see this game. This is a situation where even though it's 6.5, I wouldn't have bet this game if it was a flat 6.5. But at a plus money 6.5, that's where I have the edge here. So I did play the over on the 6.5.
Over 6.5 plus 103, and you can find that at Stacks. That is the best price available for those 6.5s right now. We're looking for plus money, and you can find that pretty much across every book across the board. As we do recommend people sign up using Betstamp there, betstamp.app/hedgework to sign up for any of these books. But if you are in Ontario, make sure to head on over to Stacks and add that to your list of sports books. Over 6.5 plus 103. Another one locked in here. 3 games down. 1 to go here, gentlemen, and what now? 4 hours remaining in NHL trade deadline. So we'll see what other trades can slip by, and so money will miss throughout the rest of the day. But as we continue to go on here on today's games, one final one remaining on the schedule. The Winnipeg Jets heading to Seattle. Seattle plus 110 here. The Jets minus 119, and total of 5.5 right across the board. So money going back to you. Final game of the day. Any bets for you here tonight?
When did Seattle get a team?
I should have brought used that. That was a good opportunity there.
I do like the Jets here, not because I'm particularly high on them. I think that the Jets are a team that I have identified as a team down the road that I would like to start fading. But Seattle is already that team, right? So both these teams that I'm not high on. The concern for this game and the reason why I haven't made a bet yet is the Jets are on the front end of a back-to-back. They are in Vancouver tomorrow, right? So the Vancouver game should hold a lot more importance, obviously, and obviously it'll be a tougher game. So I do need the goaltending confirmation. I can see it going either way here, in terms of unless it's already been confirmed, and I missed that as well. But from my understanding, it hasn't been confirmed.
No,
So so I would need the goaltending here. Because I can see them going either way. If it is Hellebuck, I think that I do have an edge on the Jets. If it's Brossoit, we'll see how much lower it gets, and then possibly we'll have a play on the Jets. But right now, I just need to wait until I get the goaltending.
All right, so money winning for goaltending. Alex B, you as well there?
Well, I might be just off of this game completely. And here's the thing, waiting for the goaltending note. What I saw, this was tweeted out yesterday afternoon from Ken Weeb, who follows the Jets, says that Rick Bowness says Connor Hellebuck is one of the players under the weather with this flu bug that's going around the Jets locker room. So that could impact the weekend goalie plan. Goalie Post currently has it where it might be Laurent Brossoit at least getting the start for tonight. So that's Ron Kurzweil says in the chat. Yeah, most likely it'll be Brossoit going. So he could be going one, possibly both games if Hellebuck is sick. But also you got to wonder which other guys. Gabe Velarde, I already saw, will not be playing another game this weekend as well. So really got to check with the lineups with Winnipeg here. Not so much for trade reasons, but for the flu bug reasons. So for me, it would probably be draw or nothing. Both teams need points. Certainly Seattle needs all the points they can get. And they played last 5 meetings, all decided by 1 goal. 2 of those 5 gone past regulation. So nothing official now, but I would advise everyone keep checking the lineups with Winnipeg news with that whole flu bug going on.
All right, there you go. That'll do it for today's games that we run through. We're not going to do too much more here because both of these gentlemen will be on hopping in throughout the trade deadline show later today. You can find that right here on the Edgework show, our Edgework HQ channel, 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. here. So make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm not going to ask you guys for futures or predictions or anything like that because we're going to have 2 hours to fill while nothing happens. So we'll wait and do that all later today. You can find both these gentlemen on the show right here at 1:30 p.m. We will be on at 1:30 p.m. They'll be joining us throughout those 2 hours. So to clarify, as for our picks for tonight, taking a look at the board, you can find this over in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ as well. 3 best bets for us here. We're going to take the Red Wings regulation time money line. Red Wings to win in regulation there, plus 122, best price available, half unit on that. Then we're going to take the Dallas Anaheim over 6.5, plus 103, plus money we're looking for, full unit there. And finally, the Dallas Anaheim regulation time draw plus 400, another half unit on that one. That's going to be all for us here today for this show. We appreciate everyone who tuned in. Make sure to come back here at 1:30 p.m. to break down the trade deadline, anything that's happened throughout the day here today, anything that might happen over the next hour and a half as we lead up to that final deadline and that final buzzer. But thanks to everyone who tuned in. We appreciate it. Alex, So Money, thank you guys for participating here this morning. It's too bad So Money was so far behind on all of this news this morning. Ridiculous a little bit, Alex. I don't know. I don't know what was up with that, but we'll get it.
Completely off my game this morning.
We'll get it dialed in for
Didn't even make my hair.
It's all good. You look good anyways. All right, we'll be back here at 1:30 p.m. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notification. Thank you guys for doing this here this morning. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Enjoy the games tonight. If you don't join us on the deadline, but you should. So enjoy the games and good luck on your bets.